came with. Said I claim the music over you, and that's some lame shit. Now I write this verse of solitude. Hope the pain's quit. Yeah, lucky guessing, distant but never stressing.
Come in with squeals, trying to come in with squeals.
Squill it.
That's that new one by Kiddo Rex there. Got it? All right, there we go. That's that new one by Kiddo Rex.
Kiddo Rex.
All right, welcome to the show. This is your boy Larvell, S.Wit. Got your man over there, Floyd.
What's going on? This is your boy Floyd, AZ in the know.
We in the building. Another Saturday. We here.
Yes, sir.
You know, today's one of those days that just hit me, man. It's like I'm not here, but I'm here, but I'm not here, but I'm here. Mm-hmm. You know, all I can say is, man, 2020. 2020, you a MF. For real. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say, man. That's I lost a relative last night.
Yes.
Lost the aunt.
Oh my gosh.
Rest in peace to our aunt, Angie. She Auntie Ann, man. Yeah. Auntie Ann. You know, I know I'm all choked up over here.
Hey, let it out. You got to come out, let it out.
It's like we lost the grandmother early in the March, right at the beginning of COVID. And it's like if anything can happen in 2020, it's going to happen. Just like RBG, the notorious RBG.
Man.
Basically the same day.
Yeah, that woman was like, oh, man. She was dynamic.
She was a rock star.
Yeah.
She was a rock star. That's why she she was termed the notorious RBG, because she was notorious. Yeah. Notorious.
She did those boss moves, man.
She was the first of this, the first of that, first of this, first of that. Like, what didn't she do? What didn't she pioneer? Like, a lot of people just don't realize the contributions that she made to society. That's why it is vital. It is so important that this election right now, like her death, unfortunately, is going to cause a major shift on how the rest of our future is going to go.
Yeah, I see
that is big.
I see that. I see it. I mean, what she had created throughout her lifetime, and and what she put in place, what she helped put in place, man, it was history making. And
women's rights, man.
Yeah, it's like because back in the day, it was hard to get women, to get people to vote for the women to vote and stuff. But when she came into play, man, she fought long and hard.
She tried to hold on for us.
Yeah,
because she knew what would happen if her seat was to come up open. She knew.
Yeah.
Just like she passed on the message to her granddaughter about the fact that she did not want Trump to select her seat, replace her seat. Or at least, not just say, well, she did say she don't want Trump to do it, but she said at least wait until after the election.
Yeah, she said.
Wait till after the election.
Yeah, she said with the next president that be in there, she wants that president to select her seat. Yeah.
Has to be the next president. Because right now, what they're doing right now, Mitch McConnell and crew, these are the same people back in 2016 that said, it's not fair, or we should not be having a hearing for a justice during an election year.
Right.
That's what they said.
Right.
Well, guess what? This is an election year. And what did you say, McConnell? You said we should not be choosing a chief justice during election year. And that was the first thing that he said after she passed. We gonna choose a chief justice. Like, come on, like, can y'all see how these Republicans, like, y'all gotta understand something. Let's put it in perspective to help y'all understand. This isn't something that's brand new. A lot of people just think that these things are new and they come with every president or whatever. No, these things are building for years. This is bigger than just one president.
Right.
This is why it's important to go to all your elections to make sure you're selecting your city council, your senators, your congressmen, women, all of the above. Because for the president, it's only 4 years. What they're doing now is they're setting up chief justices. This would be Trump's third. They're setting up judges in different appellate courts, all the different appellate courts systems, federal, city, state. Trump has put in close to 200. I know I'm off. It was 139 judges or something like that. Don't quote me on the number. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And he's been sitting here appointing judges left and right. What they're doing, okay, so back to trying to put it in perspective, there was a split control of the House. So you had the Republicans in control of the Senate and the Republicans in control of the House, right? I'm sorry, the Democrats in control. So back then it was split. But now, since then, Republicans control everything.
Mm-hmm.
They control everything, both houses. It's all Republican. So what they're trying to do now, if they actually was to succeed, they will at least lock up power for the Republicans for at least another 20 years. At least
20 years.
At least 20 years. You think I'm playing? Because let's just say this: if the next president was to get in and just so happened to be Republican, if he just happened to be Republican, he's gonna have the next 4 years, right?
True. Yeah.
Because Trump, if he gets in, he's gonna have the next 4 years.
Okay.
Now, if he gets the next 4 years, guess what? We have another election. If they can control both the houses, guess what? The Republicans is gonna win again. That's another 8 years.
Oh no.
Of Republican rule. No. Because Republicans control everything. No. Of course they're gonna let their people win. It's Republican. It's like, do y'all see what's happening? Like the conspiraciness is like oozing out. And that's like, why, do y'all not see Germany Nazi?
So like, that's why it's important to go out and vote.
Do y'all not see this?
It's there. I mean, they see it. It's just that do they really want to look more deep into it like that? You know, so it gets to a point that we just got to get out there and vote the right way. You know, we can't tell you how to vote, but I'm just saying vote the right way.
Just vote the right way. That's it. That's all you got to say. Whatever right your heart feels is the right way, choose that way. Yeah. Just make sure it's blue. Oh, no. I'm just saying, man. Y'all cannot, like, they say, oh, everybody wants to say the other people are sheep. Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, I am a registered Democrat, okay? Mm-hmm. I consider myself a Democrat. But at the end of the day, if I needed to vote a certain way that needed to be done, then I'm going to vote that certain way that needs to be done to do what I need done, whoever that may be. That's what I'm going to do. I voted for Republicans. Yeah. I voted for Republicans. Yeah. I voted for Democrats. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is, when it comes to voting, like I said, we can't tell you how to vote. Like I said, I'm straight up Democrat, but I voted for some Republicans. We don't need Trump.
We don't need no more colors.
Right? No more orange. We don't need no more orange in the White House. No more orange. We'll stick with black and white. No more orange. What time is it? We got a guest coming in here in about 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get them in here.
Yeah, it's about that time. Looking at my rollie, it's about that time. Oh, man, what is that?
That's my bad.
What is that on the microphone?
Yeah, that's my bad.
And while we're talking about voting, now back to RBG and her seat that's available now. Y'all got to realize something. Mark Kelly, with his selection or his election, if he was to become a senator, if he was to get elected, he's going up against Martha McSally. If he can go up against Martha McSally and unseat her, that is one less Republican that can choose or decide the fate of the next justice. Because all we need is four. All we need is four not to choose the next justice. All we need is four. And if we can unseat McSally, because McSally, she didn't even waste no time. You see that was in the news today? She wasted no time. It was like 15 minutes after she passed. She was quick to say, yes, let's hurry up and fill that seat. 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, she's going around telling folks to save their coffee money, to save their, instead of spending money on the coffee, instead of going out and eat, to send it to her campaign.
Yeah. Microphone check.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing.
There you go. Awesome. Sounded good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off of Trump for a little while. I'm
yeah,
tired of
let's get there. Let's stop talking about Trump.
Make sure y'all just go to the polls. Vote November 3rd. All right. Who we got in the building today?
All right, we got Mr. Vincent Watkins. Yes, he is a criminal justice and he knows about his stuff, y'all. So let's go ahead and talk to him for a little bit.
Welcome back, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, welcome back. I know last time we were doing the Zoom meeting, and we were going through that, so that's cool. I'm just glad to be here and thankful to talk to you guys, and again for the opportunity. I'm so excited.
In person is always better.
Hey, I feel good, man. I feel good.
Look good over there too, sir. I
Cool,
see you over there,
man.
Dapper Don.
So check it out. The suit is
Well, you have to do this little swag, man. Yeah.
the suit and tie is nonverbal communication to you guys to tell you how much I appreciate you having me here.
Thank you.
Right? It's just my way of saying thank
sir.
you. Plus we shot a video today talking about the Fourth Amendment. So, before I forget, my man Chris, he's in charge of my production crew, right? He's shooting a video for us. Here's what we're doing, which is so exciting. We're creating an introductory video for law enforcement, where I'm going to send this video out to every law enforcement agency in the state of Arizona, because I've created a training course for law enforcement that's AZ Post approved.
Nice.
So we're going to send this out to everyone, law enforcement, and have them take a look at it. So he's filming the last installment for us. I like this cat, man. He's a professional, man. Yeah. He's sharp cat, man. He keeps me on post.
It's all about the team.
Yes, sir.
There's no I in team.
You know it.
All right. So what is it that we have to know today? What is it that you want us to know today?
All
So
right,
this Fourth Amendment.
good question. So the Fourth Amendment, right? The basic principles of the Fourth Amendment. It protects you against illegal and unlawful searches, right? The Fourth Amendment protects you against illegal searches and seizures. We have the Fourth Amendment as it relates to the home, Fourth Amendment as it relates to walking down the street, Fourth Amendment as it relates to driving. Now, I'm gonna give you guys two scenarios. I think it's very critical that we understand these scenarios. Sunday morning, grandma's driving from church with her white hat on, her white gloves. She runs a red light. Police officer pulls her over. Walks up to the car, gives her the ticket. There are no other issues, right? There's no probable cause. There's no other reason for the police officer to search grandma's car. As the police officer is walking back to his vehicle, he says, "Oh, I would like to search your vehicle." You have the right to say, "No, I do not consent to searches." The reason that's important is because, just as a community, we need to know our laws. We need to know what police officers can and cannot do, not necessarily for law enforcement, but for ourselves as well, because I want to make sure we have great interactions with law enforcement, right? So that's the first scenario. Here's the second scenario that we also need to be aware of. You're driving, you're speeding, you get pulled over, police officer pulls you over and says, "Hey, there's a strong smell of marijuana from your vehicle. Now I have probable cause to search your vehicle because of the smell of marijuana, and I need you to exit your vehicle so I can conduct a search." Here's where we get in trouble, guys. We don't know the law. We don't know that, yes, from that standpoint, the law enforcement police officer has probable cause. Here's a caveat with that. Plain view doctrine. You're driving, there's a gun in plain view, police officer sees it. Now, based on plain view doctrine, they can search your car. Here's another point, man, I really want the community to understand. When you're pulled over, police officers have a tremendous amount of discretion. We want to be able to positively affect that discretion. Let me give you an example. And I tell this to my daughter. You get pulled over, roll your windows down. Allow the police officer to see in your car so that he or she understands there are no issues. Roll your window down, take the keys out of the ignition, place the keys on the dashboard, hands visible. Now, these are all nonverbal cues to let the police officer know that, hey, everything's okay. I think we're going to be okay, right? So, before I forget, never ever run from police officers.
Oh no, that's like the first thing. I get it. I get it. Where we're at as a nation, where we're tired of police shooting unarmed black men, but you are absolutely right. Just take the arrest. We'll go to court later. I'd rather us be alive than be shot, because they're gonna shoot us. They ain't gonna shoot the white man, but they're gonna shoot us. They're gonna give restraint. They're gonna pepper spray him, but they're gonna shoot us. So no, you're absolutely right. Don't run.
So let's talk about the most recent situation in Kenosha, Wisconsin, okay? Because that's a hot button topic. We're not going to be afraid to talk about these controversial topics, right?
Right.
So the video is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And my wife and I had the discussion. And she's like, well, why didn't the police officer do X, Y, Z? So there's case law, Graham versus Connor, which basically states police officers can use force that's necessary to control the situation. There are 3 levels of force: non-lethal, intermediate, and lethal force. The situation that happened in Kenosha, the guy's walking away from the police officer with his back turned. Probably not a good thing to do. As a police officer, and we don't know what the police officer said. We don't know what the individual said. But on the video, it appears there's something in the individual's hand, right? He's walking away from the police officer. First mistake. Second mistake, he's opening up the door and reaching into his car. Second mistake. Now, we don't know what happened, prior or after, So, to your point, Lavelle, just hands up.
Hands up.
I surrender, because you want to make sure the situation, works out in this best case scenario. I like what you said. Let's handle it the legal way, all right? I'm going to file a formal complaint. I'm going to get a lawyer. I may get some money, right? But we're going to do it the right way.
You're still going to be here.
Yeah. So I just want us to understand. And, on a side note, my whole perspective since I started this about 2 months ago, I want to bring the community and law enforcement together, okay? That's my goal. Right now, we're going down a path, man. It's chaotic. We have individuals shooting police officers.
Oh, my God. That's the new thing. It's like in the last few days, it's been, at least 3, at least?
Yeah.
We got to be careful with that because we don't want total chaos in the situation.
It's a wrong message.
It's a wrong message. We got to do it the right way. And you said something that's interesting. So, I've been teaching criminal justice for about 10 years. I have a bachelor's degree and master's degree in criminal justice, working on a second master's in adult education and training. But let's put that aside. Since I was in the 4th grade, I've had aspirations on becoming a police officer. I mean, they were like superheroes. I remember in 4th grade, police officer pulled up to the, our school, and police officer said, hey, who wants to be a criminal? Or who wants to be a cop? Who wants to be a robber? All, like 90% of my friends said, I want to be a robber, I want to be a robber. Ironically enough, those individuals are either dead in jail or in drugs, right? So,
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I was the one nerd that said, I want to be a cop. And so, I've never had negative interaction with law enforcement. Never. Now, those are through my eyes, right? Those are my experiences. If we look at the numbers, statistically speaking, in 2011, there were 62.9 million interactions with law enforcement. Almost 63 million documented, which means there are probably more. Of those interactions, if the media is showing the 0.3% to the public, what type of perception and what type of image and what type of emotion does that conjure up with the community? Now, in my not just personal but professional opinion, 99% of police officers do the right thing. Now, if we have 800,000 police officers in America, that means that 800 are not doing the right thing, right? Even in Phoenix, we have 2,900 police officers. 1% is, But, I think education is the key because even with the training course, and here's what's so interesting, I love it. I had this training course August 28th with Apache Junction PD. Apache Junction PD came out, Goodyear PD came out, Tempe PD came out. Now, you got this brother, right, in front of white males. Their first thought was probably, oh, he's about to tell us what we're doing wrong. That wasn't the case. I said, listen, I want you to understand why there's dissension, why there's frustration in the African American community. I want you to understand why we feel the way we feel. Surprisingly enough, the response was positive. I touched on slave patrols, right? And the police officer was like, wow, I never knew slave patrols existed. I'm like, well, you have to understand from a history standpoint why we feel the way we feel. Slave patrols, the 60s. I remember I sent you that video about Ethan Couch, the affluenza teenager who killed 4 people and injured 4 people and received 18 months probation. Right. Systemically, the system is not for us. It wasn't built for us
at all.
And take a look at the documentary 13. Amazing documentary. It talks about, the 13th Amendment, how, slavery is still legal as it relates to imprisonment, right? You have convict leasing, all that stuff. So understand there's a deep-rooted history with African Americans and law enforcement. But my goal is to bring the two entities together and have a productive, at least conversation. Like, again, with the training, man, they were very supportive, very receptive. They want to know more about the community. And, one police officer even said, it was better than I thought it would be. I understand the comment, but he was basically saying, I assume you're going to tell us what we're doing
He was
wrong.
going to go a whole nother way.
Right. But, ultimately, we need law enforcement to, in society, we do. Law enforcement, their oath is to serve and protect. At some point, we have to bring that together. So I'm just one man just trying to give it,
So when we say serve and protect, are we saying serve and protect certain people or serve and protect all people?
All people, right? That's the
way
goal.
It should be.
That's the way it should be. The reality may be something different, right? And so I've always talked to law enforcement, and my position has always been, we do have to serve all people, right? But listen to this. 1969, Jerome Skolnick termed the phrase symbolic assailant. Now, this is in 1969. He basically conducted a test and said, if you are perceived to be more violent, if you are a certain race, certain ethnicity, certain build, you are perceived to be more aggressive. Now, if that's true or not, based on Jerome Skolnick's symbolic assailant, that's true. And when I conducted the training in August, I went around the room, I said, listen, we all have our biases. You have a bias, I have a bias, everyone has a bias. And even in law enforcement, if your bias is African American men that are built, if your bias is Hispanic men that are tall and thin, if you have a bias against them, there's nothing necessarily wrong with having a bias, because we all do. The challenge is if you allow that bias to negatively affect how you treat people. That's the critical element. And I'll give you guys a quick story. When I worked at Marshall Fields in 1996, I'm dating myself, right? I was an investigator. And this gentleman, African-American man, walked into the store, and he's at the Joseph Abboud counter, right? Joseph Abboud, very expensive sweaters, like $300-400 sweaters. But he didn't fit the part like he should be able to afford a $300 sweater.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I'm African-American, he's African-American. Here's my bias, right? He picks up the sweater. Now, his actions indicated clearly that he would not steal the sweater. But in my mind, my bias was he's going to steal it. Long story short, he paid for the sweater with his credit card. And I even, when he went to the counter, I'm even like, he probably stole the credit card. We need to right?
Wow. Just
Right?
like that, huh?
But we have our biases. So, going back to my original point, guys, Fourth Amendment protects you against illegal searches and seizures. Understand that. There's a case law I strongly recommend that our listeners at least do some research on. I believe in 2009, Gant versus Arizona, a great Fourth Amendment case to take a look at. And the final thing, I think you touched on it earlier a little bit, Lavelle, we have to take a look at this. There are 9 Supreme Court justices, right, who interpret the law. The Fourth Amendment was created in 1791. It's almost 229 years old. Some things have changed since then, right?
Definitely.
You have 9 people with various biases that will interpret a law that's over 229 years old. Supreme Court justices nominated by the president, we're not going to even talk about that, nominated by the president, confirmed by the Senate, which means it's important, it's critical to vote so we understand what's going on. So we hear young people say, my vote doesn't count. Yes, because
yes, it does.
this president, whomever the president is, will nominate a Supreme Court justice that will interpret the law, and not only that, they're on the Supreme Court for life. So we need to understand, we need to vote, we need to understand the law, we need to understand our rights. And it drives me crazy that we know we can recite every Jay-Z or Beyonce song, but we don't know our basic Fourth Amendment rights. So we need to
That's true.
grab a hold of that.
Yeah.
So
So there's more than just the executive branch. There's a little bit more going on.
Right.
No, but my thing is, I see both sides because I was in law enforcement. So I was a correctional officer. I spent 5 years and reached the rank of a sergeant. But the reason why I say that is because I see both sides, how people are treated and how they're viewed upon and look differently. I could walk out my house and I'm in my uniform and I'm respected. I'm looked at a little bit differently. But if I walk out looking like the way I'm looking right now, I'm another thug, I'm another black person. And I have been treated differently between wearing my uniform and walking out in regular clothes by police. So I get it. I get it. It's just we have to be. We know. In the end of the day, the suit come off, we still black. So the reason I'm leading up to that was going back to when you say like searching the car. You know, when it comes to that situation, searching the car, because I've been in a situation where I've had my firearm on me, and I got pulled over by the police, and I had to let the police know, like, hey, I mean, I already got my hands out the window because even though I'm in law enforcement, still, hey, look, I have a duty weapon on me. It's on my hip. I have all my credentials. My hands, you know, I literally had to hold my hand out the car. In situations where you do get pulled over and how you say it's about legal searches, is there anything that, not saying that at this time what I'm talking about, if they have anything illegal in the car, let's just say if they say, hey, we need to search your car, is there something that they should be saying? Like particular words, phrases, anything to that nature?
So if they have to search your car, I mean, they have to have some type of probable cause to search your car. They just can't search your car.
But if they do not, what should we say?
I do not consent to searches. Here's what's so great about that particular phrase. You've done everything. You've rolled down your window. You've turned on your dome light. Your hands on the wheel. Let's just shut it down. I do not consent to searches. Simple. And now here's a little caveat with that we need to understand. If you do consent to a search, the police officer is allowed to search your vehicle. Because sometimes police officers say, hey man, you know, Dakota, I know you got this great radio show. I see you driving up and down the street all the time. Let me search your car real quick. You know, I just want to make sure everything's okay. If you say yes, he searched your car, he finds something in your car, now that's going to be used against you.
Yep.
So we need to know that little caveat. It's okay to, so, Lavelle, what we need to understand is this. It's okay to say no if you know the framework of the law. If there's a plain view, if there's cocaine in a seat, you can say no, we're still going to search your car because plain view doctrine, right? But if we know what we can and cannot do, it makes the interaction more productive, right? Now we're not, you know, oh, you searched my car. Well, yeah, I had probable cause to search your car versus, well, you searched my car, you shouldn't have searched my car. Now we have to take an additional step. Knowledge is power, man. Especially what we're dealing with in the community. Knowledge is power, and we need to have that frame of mind that I know what's going on. I know where I know what my rights are, and again, I want this to be a productive interaction with law enforcement and the community, with both people.
That dang on ringtone.
You know? That wasn't the president calling
Right.
us, was it? Come on. Kid, man, y'all trying to shut me down
That was
already,
the red
man.
phone, man. That was the red phone.
It's a conspiracy, man. They don't want me to bring the knowledge to the people. Get that dude out of there, man.
Right.
Get him out.
Yeah, and she calling me while I'm on the air.
Hey, man, I love hanging out with the brothers, man. We just do it. I love it. I love
That's
it.
it. That's
I
it.
love it.
No, because I've had situations where I have got pulled over, and the first thing you mentioned was about how we react to the situation. You know, if you are respectful, if you are knowledgeable, and you don't give the police a reason to go there. I've gotten away with tickets. I've gotten out of all type of situations. You would think that I should be going to jail, but sometimes just being nice, just being honest. Like, look, I got this, and this, and this. Sometimes it can go from, they're going to give you about 7 tickets. Like, you know what? You were honest. You told me about this. You know, I'm just going to give you this here tickets right here. I've been in those situations.
Lavelle, let me touch on that, brother.
Discretion, that was the word you used. Yep.
Discretion, man. You hit the nail on the head. And I've talked to a lot of police officers. I have a lot of good friends. They say, just be honest. Think about this, man. Like, let's say you have a guest, right? They're always late. Oh, by the way, I tried to find you a Starbucks, man. I couldn't find a Starbucks. Hey, Lavelle, real
You know
talk, man.
what? You know what? I was thinking about that too. I was like, whoa, wait
See
a
what
minute.
happened was.
Where my drink at? You know?
Hey,
No.
before I forget though, real talk, man. I text, Dakota, said, man, what do you guys like to drink? 'Cause I was gonna bring you guys some Starbucks. I'm going up and down the street. I'm like, man, I can't find a Starbucks anywhere. So I got you next time. All right. Don't worry about it.
I don't even know where one is around here.
I don't either. but Lavelle, you bring up a very good point, man. I've talked to a lot of, law enforcement officials. Be respectful, be honest, and you're right, man. 99%, that's maybe one of the reasons I've never had negative interaction. I've always been respectful, I've always been honest, and I've never had an issue, so that's a great point. I think, you can't say anything better than that when we're talking like our viewers, especially the young people, because for some reason they feel the need to challenge authority.
Yeah.
And it's not just
It's
law
these
enforcement.
millennials.
Man, my wife, she's a teacher, and she's like, these kids in the classroom, but here's the thing. If you don't respect authority in the classroom, at home, when you interact with law enforcement, you won't respect them either. Then we have these issues. So, Lavelle, I mean, you bring up a great point. Respect authority, and you'll be fine.
I come from a family full of law enforcement, so it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, I see both sides, and I hate the fact that I'm in the middle, because it's like I get this side, but yet I get this side. But the black community need to realize we can't be angry, because we are angry people. We have a reason to be angry. We do. 400 years, we have a reason to be angry. But we're not angry where we're trying to hurt people. We're angry because we're tired. We're sick and tired. We're sick and tired. That's the anger that we have. We're sick and tired. So it's like when the police get behind us, all that frustration comes to a head. And a lot of times they forget. They, just snap. They lose their mind. And unfortunately, it plays out over and over and over.
Okay. I'm going to play the advocate.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, I'm in my car, and I'm driving, and I say...
You got a pound in the trunk?
I say that I don't want you to search my car. And right then and there, he starts to bulk up. And it says, they start to be like, trying to force. Now they're trying to force to search my car. But I'm like, no, I don't agree with all that. I don't want you to search my car. Therefore, just by saying that, as a black man, just by saying that, right there, I feel that they will do something way more than what it was going to be in the first place.
So I like that thought process, and let me give you like a real general overview. The Fourth Amendment itself, we can have an entire discussion for a semester on the Fourth Amendment. There's a lot of case law. There's a lot of different situations. We're giving you the real high level, right? And so within each situation is different. Each police officer is different. Like I've had students say, Mr. Watkins, Professor Watkins, I got a friend that was pulled over and they may have had some marijuana in the car. I'm like, well, where are the details? Like, what else is going on? What else? There's like a lot of information that, So just on a whole high level, I want to address that. In that situation, if you know you're in your legal right, like the example I gave you earlier, if you're driving, there's no, open liquor bottles, no, you don't even smoke marijuana, there are no issues, you're speeding, police officer execute the speeding ticket, everything should be done at that point.
Right.
Then he says, oh, by the way, can I search your vehicle? I do not consent to searches. That's it. A lot of times it's how we communicate the information, right? Like I tell my students, you have a lot of information, you don't have to tell a police officer, I don't consent to search because Professor Watkins said I ain't got to. No.
Right.
Don't be saying my name.
Don't put me up in that.
Leave me out of it.
Right. But it's how you present the information, right? It's how you present it. And at that point, if the police officer still wants to take it to another level, badge number, ID number.
Because there are hostile police.
Yeah. There are. Now, let me talk to you about that situation, right? So, and again, to your point earlier, I'm in the middle, right? I'm pro law enforcement unequivocally. I'm pro law enforcement because I understand what they do. I understand what we need. I want to be clear on that. I love my law enforcement brothers. But that being said, I am a black man in America.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, I do carry that weight, and it is a weight on occasions, right? But playing advocate is for ourselves in the police officer position, where you have a job where every day you leave that house, there's a possibility that you may be killed, or you may have to kill someone. That's the first scenario. Think about that, right? And I tell my students, let's say you get stopped at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In that particular day, a police officer may have responded to a dead baby, may have responded to a suicide where they blew their brains out all over the wall, may have responded to a suicide where a 14-year-old kid killed themselves. And they can't take months off like we can.
Right.
So their sergeant may say, okay, John, I know you've experienced A, B, C, D. Take 15 minutes. I need you back on the road. Now, this police officer just experienced these tragedies, and there are certain things you just can't unsee, right? Like, we talked last time, Laquan McDonald, Chicago, shot in the back 16 times. On some level, I wish I would have never seen that video because I can't unsee that, right? Now, police officers experience a murder, a suicide, baby being whatever, right? Being abused. Now I pull you over, I just ask you, can I see your driver's license? And you're like, dude, you always messing with us. Now, right, like, you like, dude, I mean.
Already.
Right, like.
Going the wrong way.
Already. Let's just keep that perspective. Like, there's always two sides to the equation. And I use this exercise, and I'm training police officers. I take a Coke can, right? And I shake up the examples, right? I go a murder, a suicide, and I go through this whole scenario, and I say, boom, open the can, right? So to your point too, man, you may experience the same thing. Like, oh, you spill coffee on your shirt. I had a guest that promised me coffee. He didn't bring my coffee. This dude, like he came in late. Right. So my goal, guys, again, man, I want to bring the community, law enforcement together, educate the community, and just because we're going down the road, man, that I don't want us to see, like, you got police officers being attacked with AK-47s. At the end of the day, we both want the same thing. Get the bad police officers out off the street. Get the bad citizens off the street. Let's come together. And the final point, I've been talking with a lot of different people. Just talked to a guy today, Jeremy Givens. And there are some people, man, that are really doing what I'm doing as well. Very similar. Like, they want to. There's some people that I'm meeting in this circle that just like, man, we need to do something. Let's come together. So you do, and even like what you guys have me on, right? There's some. It's in the works. We have some work to do, but I think we're moving in the right direction, right? So
you got to keep the conversation going. That's the only way we're going to be able to do it. We got to educate, because you can't just be popping off at the mouth at these stops, especially in the day and age that we live now. Even more reason, shut up. That's it. Just shut up. Let that police officer get in trouble for something that he did. Just shut up. Yep. That's it. Don't be a loudmouth. But thank you once again for coming in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Glad to have you. Well, I should say again, technically, it's the first time.
Hey, it's funny, man. I was taking a look at Dakota's messenger, and I'm like, oh man, he got people in the studio. I want to come in the studio too.
Okay, so just explain that, because for a while, due to COVID, unfortunately, it was on and off. It was like, okay, now we're allowed to bring people in. Now we're not allowed to bring people in. Then when we think we're allowed to bring somebody in, then we bring somebody in. They say, nope, we can't have you in there. Now we got to cancel it. Then the next week, okay, we're back on again. All right, then the next week after that, we can't have nobody in. It's been a whirlwind. Then it started off right before that with the construction here. Yeah. There was a lot of construction going on where they had to they remodeled this place twice. Yeah. So it's like
they had to gut it all out.
Twice. Because first they did it, got done, and then something happened, leak, whatever, in the walls, something burst. Then they had to just come in here and do it all over again. So wow. It's been a long road. Hey, but you are here. Thank you.
Real quick before I leave, though, man, I got to say hi to my lovely wife.
Hey, wifey.
Renee Watkins. That is my rock. She is my love.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And there's a video of her. She paid off over $89,000 in debt.
I saw that.
She is my African queen. I love my wife. And my daughter Z. And my son Armand. Gotta say that. And then we just shot a video today talking about the Fourth Amendment. So please check out the video. We're gonna upload it on tomorrow. And then, you know, my man Chris, this is a sharp dude. Look at him just in the cut, just
Yes,
chilling.
sir.
When you guys see these videos, this is he's the mastermind behind all that stuff. I couldn't do it without him, man.
Awesome.
He's my man. I love that guy. And last thing, man, I gotta give all praises to God, man.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Man, God,
That's right.
I had a nasty accident about 2 years ago, man. I think I told you I cracked my skull, broke my jaw. It was bad. Now, you know, I'm back. I'm doing my Amari Hardwick ghost impersonation. But God is good, man. So I'm blessed. I'm thankful to be here, man. I'm thankful for this opportunity, man. I appreciate what you guys are doing, man. And man, I love to come back.
Yes.
I love to come back, man.
Come on back.
Maybe-
So I can literally say previously on Easy to Know.
So Vincent, how can if someone wanted to follow you or you know get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Okay, yeah, that's good. Thanks for asking that, man. Hit me up on Facebook, man. You know, my daughter teases me. I got the Instagram thing, V Watkins 21. Facebook Messenger is always a good way to connect with me because you know I'm a youth empowerment speaker as well. So I'm trying to get out in the community and do that. But yeah. Definitely go to my YouTube channel because there's a lot of good information on there. We talk about, you know, Fourth Amendment. We talk about finances. You know, earlier in my videos, we talked about fashion. So I love to come on and talk to you guys a little bit about fashion and all that stuff.
Because you're looking like Dapper Don right now.
Sharp,
Come on, man.
Clean.
Dope aesthetic.
I feel good, man. I feel good.
Yeah,
God
right.
is good. I turned 50 in December, man. So I'm,
What?
yeah.
Okay.
Don't even look like you're 50.
Come on, man.
Come on, bruh.
Man.
Yes, sir. Black don't crack.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, I got to stay in shape because my wife, she don't mess around. I'm trying to keep up with her.
right.
Hey.
She look like she 25.
Uh-oh.
My wife look like she 25, so I want to look like I'm 80. Plus, I look young because I'm short. So
I feel you. I get it. I get where you're coming from. I get it. Hey, thanks for coming in. It's AZ in the Know. See y'all next week.
All right.
yeah.
See y'all.
All right, thank you.